Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to another segment of the MCR Mac and Me. My name's TJ, and in this segment, um, last week Mac and I, we conversed throughout the week, kicking around ideas for what we're going to do a segment on, and I made the comment to Mac that I'd see a news report which would kind of stick in my head and trigger a thought for a possible segment, only for the next day to read another news report, and then another day, another news report, to the point where I guess I just want to share what all I've noticed in the news this past week. Uh, if you go back 1 to 2 weeks, court rulings have pretty much favored Trump and the J6ers, and it's really upset the left. Upset the left to the point I read a news article about how AOC wanted to impeach some of the Supreme Court justices, and they seem to be especially targeting Clarence Thomas. How dare this black judge deign to think for himself, as he would say during his confirmation hearing.
Yeah, and one of the things he said during that confirmation hearing was, it's a high-tech lynching of a black man.
Who would deign to think for himself.
Right.
I remember the word deign. But, and it just, last I learned in government class, there's 3 equal branches of government. So AOC, you're going to have to get over this.
She needs I've often thought about buying and then shipping to her the DVDs of Schoolhouse Rock. Maybe she could learn how our government works from them.
Yeah, and then I read another news article about in one of the J6 rulings, well, a ruling that affected the J6ers, I'll say. Clarence Thomas added on to the concurrent. I guess Justice Roberts wrote the opinion, and then Clarence Thomas added on to it, specifically citing and mentioning Jack Smith, the one of the attorneys down in that Mar-a-Lago raid document case. Okay, and as I read the news report and thought about, going back in history, we'll say years maybe, Clarence Thomas has been referred to as one of the more quieter ones on the bench. I think this guy's tired of being quiet, to the point where when he mentioned Jack Smith by name, I gotta wonder if Clarence Thomas is getting tired of this nonsense. Well, I'm sure he's getting tired of it.
Well, they've gone after his wife now.
Yeah.
And it's become personal, and hey, you reap what you sow. You want to go after the guy's wife, maybe he's going to push back on you.
You knocked on that man's door and he answered, I would tell you.
Right.
So these are news reports that I read, and I'm thinking, ooh, there's a segment. Oh, here's another segment, But as I was reading these different news articles throughout the week, I began to say to myself that what we're witnessing, I say we collectively, Mac, me, our viewers, and those who don't even watch our channel probably, we're watching a nation in distress. The Democrats want to go after the J6ers. They want to go after Trump. They want to go after the justices. And you know what? Now they're going after each other.
I'll tell you how much people are in that line of thinking. And my neighbor across the street, they fly their American flag upside down.
Well, nation in distress,
yes.
Country in distress. But, and then I find a little irony in them going after Biden. We said right from the very beginning, we felt Biden was just a puppet president.
Right.
But what if the puppet president doesn't feel like being a puppet anymore? Or
I don't know
maybe the first lady.
I don't even know if he's capable of doing that, but he does. The reports are that he does whatever she tells him.
That's right.
But if she doesn't feel like moving out quite yet.
There's whisperings of she's the real president right now. And then I read a news report. Like I said, just one news report after another. Then I read another news report how Hunter Biden is sitting in on presidential briefings. Just
A convicted felon. A
yeah.
convicted felon for all you people who don't want a convicted felon making any decisions.
Um, then I read an article about how President Biden has become so detached from reality. Uh, some of his inner circle staff members, I read another article, how his staff members have him encircled in a cocoon, political cocoon of sorts, furthering his detachment from reality. And I'm thinking, we got to win this next. The bottom line is we got to win this November. We just got this all this bovine excrement's got to cease. You know,
Well,
this is
I
just
don't know
crazy.
how the country can survive another Democrat regime. I really don't. I mean, the Supreme Court will be gone because if you get coattail votes and they were to win the House and the Senate, I guarantee you one of the first things going to do is stack the court.
Yeah, that's if they just don't out and out add judges like they've been wanting to
Well,
do
that's what I
for
mean
a couple of years now.
when I say stack the court. And FDR wanted to do this when he wasn't getting his way.
Just and jog on. I lost my train of thought here. Sorry, everyone. But then I read another article about there's thoughts. Can this guy finish his presidency, let alone do another 4 years? And if he can't do another 4 years because he's not with it, then should he even still remain president for the last few months of this term? I just and as I'm reading this, so becomes just instilled in my mind. Yeah, we're in distress, man. We're in distress. All this stuff's just falling apart on us. And I mean, I know we care, you, me, our viewers, and believers on the right, I'll say, but just how many U.S. citizens actually care about all that? I'll tell you what they care about is the $3.50 a gallon gas right now in Michigan.
Yeah,
But
I wish I could find somewhere where I could pay 350
well,
because
I
right now
paid.
I'm paying up closer to 4.
Well, I'm a BJ's member, and I paid 308 this morning.
Well, I paid 379 about 4 days ago.
But this is I mean, just how much longer can we go before we break? And that's what I'm
Well,
kind
some
of.
people are breaking.
It's just and in the closing of my little rant here, we've got to win by more than 5%. I mean, you know what? We've got to win by 10%, or we ain't going to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Because
let me
because the
quote.
fix is already in. Wisconsin's back to the ballot boxes. Maricopa is being Maricopa,
We have
and
them here in
and
Michigan.
yeah,
In my township that I live in, I
I
drove
mean,
by the police station where I vote, and there sits a ballot box.
yeah, in Michigan with Wayne County is going to be Michigan with Wayne County.
Right.
I just we got the triad here in Michigan. Whitmer, Dana Nessel, and Jocelyn Benson. The evil triad there. I mean,
Axis of evil, I call
yeah, just uh, so and Trump is saying in his political stumps and whatnot, too big to fail. And boy, is that right.
them.
We
Right.
got to win too big to fail. Uh, you know, do I still think they'll try to cheat? Yeah, they're going to. But it's it. I guess what I'm thinking and hoping, and perhaps I'm being naive in this hope here, but you know, say we win so big, and then they still somehow successfully cheat, that at that point it becomes so obvious that someone with some sanity brings all this to a screeching halt. You know, I
Right.
just, maybe I'm just being naive. Hey, you know what? Who am I? We're just two guys on a YouTube channel.
Right.
But anyways, that's all I got. Just well, I tell you what, I every day I was getting slapped in the face by another news report that I thought was more obscene than the day before.
Right.
But anyways, that's all I got. I know I've ranted in this one a little bit. You got any rants or anything to calm me down?
No. Couple beers
All
in the
right.
fridge. I don't drink anymore, but you can have those.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll call this one a wrap. We'll catch you on the next segment. Here's a shameless tease. It's going to be a little bit more mellow, I think, and hope. So, anyways, we'll catch you on the next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.